So now let's talk about what happens if we are not on the unit circle. So again, the unit circle is a circle with a radius of 1. So let's talk about where we have a radius of r. So in general, although the lengths of the sides of a right triangle may change as the radius changes, the ratios of the side lengths are always going to remain the same. So for the point xy on a unit circle that has a, or not, sorry, not on a unit circle. So for the point xy on a circle that has a radius of r at an angle theta in standard position, let the point on the terminal side of the angle that is on the circle x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Then the following functions can be defined as the ratios of the sides of the corresponding triangle. So before, when we were dealing with the unit circle, we said that sine was just y, and that was because when I use this, y divided by r, so if r is 1, because it's a unit circle, you just get 1, or y. And that's why on a unit circle we say it's y, but now if it's not a unit circle, we say that it's y divided by r. Same thing goes for the cosine, and so forth. So for example, if we were solving this type of problem where we have an angle, the terminal side, when plotted in standard position, is at this point. So notice before when we were given an x and y value, that problem specifically said on the unit circle. And now this doesn't say we're on the unit circle. So in that case, we have to actually think that this is going to be on not a unit circle. So that's when you're going to have to use that y over r for cosine, or for sine, and then x over r for cosine, and so forth, instead of just being y and just being x. So if we had to do this to find the exact value of each of the trig functions. So what I do when I'm doing this is, when I'm asked these questions, is I first write out sine, cosine, tangent, just so that I can remember that these are what I'm solving for and I don't forget them. And make sure you have those thetas there, because if you just write sine, that makes no sense. That's just like drawing a square root with nothing underneath it, which makes no sense. You have to be taking the square root of something, just like you have to be taking the sine of something. Okay, so sine we know is y over r, cosine is x over r, tangent is y over x, and then we've got their reciprocals, so the cosecant is r over y, the secant is r over x, and then the tangent or cotangent x over y. So we've got our x and our y value, but the thing we don't have here is our r value. So we can use that formula, x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So we know that x squared, we've got 4 squared plus negative 2 squared equals r squared. So I get 16 plus 4 equals r squared. So 20 equals r squared. Square root of 20 equals r, and we need to simplify that. So the square root of 20 is the same thing as the square root of 4 times the square root of 5. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 5 you can't simplify. So I've got my r value is 2 root 5. Now it's going to get a little gross when I have to actually simplify these. So the sine is y over r. So that's going to give me y, so the y value is negative 2. The r value is root 5. Okay, so that will simplify and give me negative 1 over root 5. We can't have a square root in the denominator, so I need to multiply by root 5 over root 5, which gives me negative root 5 over 5 for the sine. For the cosine, it's going to be x over r. So that's going to simplify to being 2 over root 5. Again, rationalize that denominator, and I get 2 root 5 over 5. Tangent is y over x, which is great. So the y value is negative 2. The x value is 4, so that reduces to negative 1/2. And now for their reciprocal, so I'm actually going to find the reciprocal of the one that I did before I went through and clean this up. So we've got our r value, which is 2, oops, you cannot see, 2 root 5 over our y value, which is negative 2, so that becomes negative root 5. Secant is r over x, so 2 root 5 divided by 4, which is root 5 over 2. And then the cotangent is x over y, So that's going to give me 4 over negative 2, which is just negative 2. A lot of different information we talked about today, as well as a lot of different new language. These are really great resources that are available to you. I really recommend going through and utilizing these to just make sure that you have a full understanding of these concepts if you're struggling with anything. Again, to click on these links, you need to go open up and download that PDF video notes, and then you can click on them from there.